Good morning, folks. Lindsay Huddleston back in the building. Another SPS Monday Motivation post Super Bowl Sunday. Hope you guys had a chance to enjoy your weekend. I sure did. Had a great weekend. Good morning, Michelle. So good to see you. Nothing but love to you and the Watkins family. Appreciate you guys' continued support of SPS and all the things we've been doing and some great things I'll be announcing later on. But speaking of Super Bowl, did your team win? Well, technically, I always had a feeling that Tom Brady, in my view, is the Michael Jordan of football, taking nothing away from Patrick Mahomes. So I was feeling that Tom Brady, being on the field, was going to always have a chance to win. He did. However, when you make a bet with an 8-year-old, referring to my daughter, she chose a team from Florida because it was closer to Disneyland, right? So I ended up betting my daughter. I was going to go with Kansas City, and she was going with, thank you, Michelle, and she was going with Tom Brady. And when you bet an 8-year-old, the stakes are face painting. So you may see an image of me in the days to come of having my face painted by my daughter as I pay my bounty to my daughter for winning the bet. But hey, what are we talking about today on this SPS Monday Motivation? Use a filter of inspiration and not envy. What? What's going on? What do you mean, Lindsay? A filter of inspiration and not envy. Social media is a part of all of our lives. And no matter how we feel about it, whether you're really on it a lot, which I am with SPS and everything that I do, or you're just somewhat familiar with, a filter is used as something that can help, make something present differently. You can look at something differently when it comes to that. And it's been really interesting because a lot of people have been impacted by that. How many times are you looking at social media and just the sheer nature of being a human, you see something and for some reason it may make you feel a certain kind of way. It may have you feel a little envious about what you see, whether this is a person that you know or someone you're looking at. Now, mind you, I have to remind you that in the selfie generation, the selfie world, pictures are taken several times over to get that right look. I do it myself, as a sports psychology consultant and also doing work with digital sports media. You want to get that right look. So sometimes these filters, may make us look at things and be envious. And what do we define envy as? Well, envy is defined as painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with the desire to possess the same advantage. I'll read that again. Envy is described as painful or resentful awareness of an advantage enjoyed by another, joined with the desire to possess the same thing. Yeah, we feel a certain way because we feel somebody is benefiting more. May it be the car they drive, the job they have, the relationship they're in, all these things. And I'm here to counsel and say, I don't judge you because of that, because that is human nature. I don't think we all wake up the best version of ourselves. It's life experiences that mold us to get us to that point. And to go a step further, psychologist Dr. Amandi says Instagram, for example, is tied to anxiety and depressive symptoms, increased body dissatisfaction, and lower self-esteem. You got all these things that can come when we look at social media and we look and reflect on ourselves. So it's very easy to look at social media or just the world that is and have envy. I don't fault you for having envy because you are human. That is another emotion. And my concern will be if it remains that way. So what I'm encouraging you to do, instead of having this envy that can come up as a human characteristic, look at things in the idea of, being able to focus on things to have an inspirational outlook. Inspiration. And the root word of inspiration is inspired. So when you look at that, what do you think of? I'm trying to pull this up for you. Sorry about that. So when you're inspired, folks, that's a different outlook on things. The way you see things, to inspire is to influence, to move or guide by divine or supernatural influence or action. Look at that. The sheer definition of it says that we have to almost be godlike to be inspired. So what do I mean? We know that in order to have a life that's inspiring or to be inspired by others, we have to move beyond our natural human self. So I encourage you guys that when you look at things, whether it's on social media, looking at those Super Bowl commercials that talked about the new Lyric Cadillac car that's coming out, all these things that make you look at your current life and say, hey, what's going on with me? What's happening to me? What do I want to do? Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to let you guys know, you want to look at things from a standpoint of how can I be inspired by the things I see, as opposed to having this natural envy that comes as just a human trait. A human trait, that is. And I think it's important that we know that we have to put ourselves into a mindset to work on that, because it's very difficult. You don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I'm ready for this world. It's Monday. I'm ready just to go into a situation that I may have had a problem with. I'm ready just to go into something that I may have been challenged with. I'm ready to go and see that person who has all the things that I think I want. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl, but he wasn't drafted as the man. Nobody expected this from him. The Super Bowls that he lost. Even Patrick Mahomes, having won back-to-back Super Bowls in the last 2 seasons, he didn't come out of Texas Tech as the one everyone figured would be the greatest. So what I'm telling you is that we have to be proactive in having an attitude of inspiration. You have to create this filter for yourself to look at the world, to be inspired and not envious. I don't fault you for that. I don't fault you for wanting nice things, wanting a great life, and wanting to feel a certain way. But you have to put the effort in to make that happen. And sometimes that effort is not a physical effort. Sometimes that is a mental effort. Sometimes that is before you get up out of the bed and you're sitting there, you're saying, you know what? Today I'm going to make the effort to be positive going forward. It doesn't just happen. It's just not like that. And then our brain, will continue to have these neurological pathways. So if you're thinking of something and you're envious about it, you have to be careful, because you will continue to look at it over and over again. And these pathways will be created, because it's a pattern, it's over time. So you have to be proactive when it comes to being inspirational or being inspired. You have to physically go out and try to do that. I should say mentally try to do that. People don't know the sacrifices that were made to have what people see. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. You're right in my head with that. You don't know what people go through. You don't know what's happening in their relationship. You don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Or like she said, the sacrifice we have to go through. So all I'm saying is be proactive in having a filter of inspiration and not envy. That's right. Easier said than done, I know, but I'm telling you, if you're proactive about it, if your whole goal is to work towards, how can I be better at it? Let me see what I can do to help individuals, as I say, help myself as I look at situations. So not to just say, oh man, look at that, look what he has, or look what she has. And we don't know what that person went through. And if you're looking at it, and me as well, I have to catch myself on social media, looking at something and almost mentally salivating over it, because I'm like, man, that's cool. I want that. Or how did that person get that? And I have to step back and I say, you know what? Let me be inspired by what they did. Let me be inspired by what happened. I got a young man, Real the Great, that I met when I was getting support from Dennis Reed, and the Mighty Wing Shop. And I met that young man over there and I interviewed him, and he has an album coming out that actually dropped today. Shout out to Real the Great. So his peers may look at him like, man, Real's album is out. I hope they can look at that and say, man, my man put an album, I'm inspired. That's going to make me go back to the lab and work on some things. Whatever team, all those other teams in the NFL who weren't successful enough, like Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, to win a Super Bowl. Instead of saying, I hate Tom Brady and what he's done, saying, man, let me get back in the league. Let me get back in the lab. Let me work on my game. It doesn't just come natural, because that's not who we are as humans. But we have to be proactive in that. Just like you want to have a certain body, you have to get up and go to the gym. Just because you want it bad, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. So you have to have this filter of inspiration, not a filter of envy. It's very easy to get caught up in that. It's very easy to say, man, I want what they have. And even if you do, even if you want what they have, understand there's a sacrifice that has to be made to get it. I was very fortunate with all the outpouring of love and support I got. Michigan State coach Tom Izzo made a pretty strong statement, in the press conference. And it wasn't a question that I asked. It was actually the Detroit News asking a question, and they were talking about all the issues that his players are facing. He acknowledged me saying, look, I can have Lindsey here full time, 24/7. And I appreciate that. But my point being is that is a relationship that was baptized in fire. For Tom to get to the point to say Lindsey can be an asset to me like that, this goes back to years of building a relationship, years of building a trust, years of dealing with conflict to get to the point to be recognized on this stage and say, hey, this guy can help us. So what do I say by that? Don't look at things with the idea of envy. Look at it to be inspired. And it doesn't happen naturally. You have to be proactive and do it. And the last thing I'll say as we hit the 10-minute mark, if you woke up today, if you looked at a situation, you said to yourself, man, I feel bad for being that way. I feel bad for thinking that way. Just know that it is a proactive thing you have to do to think differently. Like with all things, when you want to better yourself, you have to be proactive about it. So I don't want to keep you guys too much. I do want to announce some other great things. Today, you'll see me over there with the mighty River Rouge Panthers. Shout out to Coach Lamonte Stone. Shout out to my guy, Todd Bergen. We're going to be kicking off the Safe Play campaign. That's right. We finally got an opportunity to get back to play here in the state of Michigan with winter sports, particularly basketball. We want to kick off a Safe Play campaign, meaning that we want to do all the right things to make sure we can continue to have this 6-7 week MHSA basketball schedule for men and women, for girls and boys, and keep people safe. Because we all know Governor Gretchen Whitmer is not playing with it. Big Gretchen's her name, and she'll shut it down. And also, you'll see an announcement about this later. There'll be the SPS Game of the Week. That's right, we're back to it. The SPS Game of the Week will be between River Rouge and Denby High School. That's right, the Safe Play campaign. Say it, Michelle. She's clapping her hand. Michelle knows about that. We got to keep our athletes safe. We got to keep our community safe. We are not out of it yet. We are not done with COVID-19 and this impact. So I tell you to be mindful of your actions. Be mindful of what you do. Social distance, wear a mask, wash your hands. Just because you want to do something doesn't mean it's the right time to do it. So with that, guys, I just want to wish you guys a great Monday. I hope this message can have an impact because we are human. We do look at things and have wants and desires, and sometimes those can be misguided, but it's okay to be proactive and saying, you know what, Lindsay, I got to step back. And instead of me being envious of what this person has achieved, let me be inspired by that. Because the envy will make you hate it and dislike that person, but the inspiration will say, well, what can I do to get that? Be inspired today, guys, not envious. And if you are, it's a human trait, and as humans, we fall short. We can work on getting better. So I want to wish you guys a great Monday. I want to wish you guys a great week. I'll also be making an announcement about the Horatio Williams Foundation and their officials clinic that'll be taking place on February 20th. I'll be talking to Delonda D. Little later this week, and we'll be promoting that too. But just continue to watch SPS, continue to watch our sports network, and as we try to get out positivity and help you guys overcome not only the mental challenges, but just be inspired about life. So with that, have a great day. Have a great week. And as I always tell my guy, Forrest Boyer, brick by brick, let's get it done, guys. And you will. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Michelle, for checking in, and appreciate everyone else. Go on and have a great day. Do it. Be inspired and not envy.